So today we will see some of the LoadRunner functions and which are C functions and web functions, like what tools I am going to, like what are the functions we are going to use. Regarding all those functions we will see. So in yesterday's session, we have seen regarding correlation, how we are doing correlation by using LoadRunner. Like here, if we are seeing in the JMeter, we are depending on any post processor. But in the LoadRunner, we have to write this function for doing correlation, which is a web protocol function. This is starting with web. This is a web protocol function. So here we need to do the correlation by using these web functions. Yeah. So for us in the LoadRunner, we are having different types of functions based on the starting. You can see I will write all those functions and I will explain so that we can start the scripting activity in the LoadRunner by using these functions only. Without learning these functions, we can't go. Scripting will not be easy. Like some 30 to 40 functions are there, which are all these are LoadRunner functions, and even C functions also work in the LoadRunner because this is developed by using C language only. The complete LoadRunner tool coding is done in the pattern of C language. Yeah, let me take some sample script and for our understanding purpose only. Otherwise, I will open the yesterday's script. You can directly open how we are doing in the JMeter. In the similar way, you can open the existing scripts. Yeah, this is our yesterday's script which we have done for our Blaze demo application. So what are the predefined functions means they will work across all protocol. If you see, if you identify the functions in the script, these are web, starting with web concurrent, starting with web underscore URL. So all these are the web protocol functions. That means these functions you are not seeing in the SAP scripting, Citrix scripting. If you are switching the protocol, this type of functions you are not going to see. But these are common across all protocols. Whatever LR that is starting, these are called LoadRunner functions, are also called as predefined functions in the LoadRunner tool, which will work across all protocols. They don't have any consistency, any constraint regarding the protocol. They will work across any protocol. So we have certain protocols here. Let me write. The first one is LR abort. So what is this LR abort is going to do? This function usually, if you see, if I write the correct function, then automatically the color is going to change into orange color. That means this is identified by LoadRunner. What you are writing, identified by our LoadRunner tool. So this is abort function. So what is the purpose of this function means, where we have to write the function means, whenever you want to do some kind of if-else condition, for example, if you are writing, so what is the purpose means, this will simply abort the execution. That means it will not take you to the further steps. For example, let me show where we are going to write this LR abort means. For example, I am implementing one challenge. That means if based on some condition, if my number of flights are 4 flights, then only go for the booking. If number of flights are more than 4 flights, go for booking. Less than 4 flights means don't go for booking. So that type of scenarios, if you want to implement in LoadRunner means, what you have to do is, for example, this is, let me take, these two calls are our booking calls. Just imagine these two calls are our booking calls. So what I am going to, how I am going to implement the logic here, these two calls are responsible for booking the tickets. That means this snippet of code is responsible for booking the ticket. Now here I have to implement the condition based on the number of flights. So if number of flights are more than 4, then I have to go for booking. Otherwise I have to exit from the execution. Then I have to write that condition like this. If how will I come to understand number of flights means, I will do the correlation, and that value I am assigning number of flights. C underscore number of flights is my correlation value. This value should be more than 4. Then only I have to write the entire condition under this, so that it will check before executing all these lines. It will check And if the condition is satisfied, here there is one more function also we need to write. I will show what the function that we need to write, LR evaluation string, so that we will see in the later sections. So if the number of flights are more than 4 flights, then we have to go for the booking. Else, whatever the plan that you are giving, I will simply write this function LR abort. That means if total number of flights are 4 flights, then this is going to execute. If this is not the case, then obviously this is coming out of the execution. So this is the most used function, LR abort function. Whenever you want to implement any scripting challenge based on condition, if you don't want the execution to be continued, if the execution is not following the instruction, then you can use this LR abort function. There you can directly write that is failed, or you can print any message. Later you can print any message like LR output message you can print. So what output message here you need to write on the top of this. So I am going to put this LR output message. This is like just printing a log. So here number of flights are less, hence canceling, something like. Here based on your condition, if you write this will going to print as an output message, and execution is not going to happen because of this function. Yeah, that is one function. Now there is one more function also. I will discuss about all the functions. We will use these functions in our next scripting classes. Yeah, like the next one is LR exit. So what is this exit? How it is different from the abort means? Abort usually it will use for the stopping of the execution. That means it will it will only exit. It will only abort the particular lines. But after here, if you write something code again, that is going to execute. Here again, after this exit, some code is there means again that is going to be executed. But if you write the exit, LR exit, this will completely come out of the iteration. That means the iteration is not going to be continued. It is going to aborted. That means it is going to be stopped. It is going to be exited from the execution, either that is from the iteration or the action. For this LR exit function, we have some more options also there. What are those options means? LR exit virtual user you can write. That means the total number of sorry, this is a typo. LR exit for us, LR exit user is there. That means whenever you want to exit the particular virtual user, that particular user you can mention, or you can mention the LR exit action and continue. Like you can simply exit, but you can continue the action also. LR exit action and continue is also there, one more function. So this one will usually come out of the execution, and it will show what type of options that we are going to see. Let me go to the page so that directly you can see the functions here itself. So here you need to give the proper letters, then only you can see. Yeah, here this is the function LR exit function, and in this LR exit function, yeah, here there are the LR exit virtual user and LR abort and LR LoadRunner virtual user, particular user exiting is there, and that particular user we need to either abort or we can see this. So now here there are some more also, like whenever the user is exiting, they will return with the status, either they are pass or fail. They will return with one of the statuses. So you can see any of the status in the logs itself. Directly you can see logs itself, and there are some more continue option also there. Yeah, these are the options that I just written. LR exit virtual user, that means it will exit only virtual user. LR exit action and continue, that means it will come out of the only action and remaining things will be continue. And LR exit iteration and continue, that means exit iteration means, for example, you are giving 10 iterations in the script. So if the first iteration is failing means again it will not stop the execution. It will even continue after the exiting from the iteration. It will attempt for second time. It will attempt for third time. Like that, it will continue. Yeah, like all these are the multiple stages. We can use them according to our scripting enhancements that what we want to do in our ability, like in our performance testing scripting in the LoadRunner. If you want to do any advanced challenges, all these functions are useful. Yeah, and some more functions also there. LR start transaction, LR end transaction. These two from the day one. So this one will start the transaction, and LR end transaction. This one will mark the transaction as end. The purpose is you need to identify the response time of particular transaction, not for the particular call. The client is not going to ask you what is the time taken for this particular call. The client is asking you the transaction time. Transaction means group of calls will be there. So the group of calls you need to make as a transaction, so that you don't need to put more calculations here. In this way you can write, in between this you can mention LR start transaction and LR end transaction. You can mention whatever the lines of code is there, that lines of code you need to mention in between those two lines actually. And there is one more also is there, LR stop transaction and LR resume transaction. So these stop and resume purpose you can easily identify. What these two are going to do is, if you want to hold your execution for some time, for example, you can do this in two ways. I will tell you the second way also. The first one is LR stop transaction, resume transaction. For example, if you are making this request, if you are hitting this request to the server, again here you have to wait for 1 minute mandatory, because you are hitting this request. That means whenever the server is receiving this, server needs some process time, then only server is giving you some value. Otherwise the next request should be triggered only after 30 seconds. So that type of mandatory waiting times, if you need to implement, then you can put this stop and resume. You can put the script to stop, or you can ask the script to resume. But this is these two functions we are not going to use in real time more. Instead of that, I am going to use LR think time. So think time, if you are giving, for example, if I want to stop my execution for 1 minute, then I will give LR think time as 60 seconds. So here your script will wait wherever you are writing this transaction. For example, I don't want this to be executed immediately. I will put here. So here at the line number 487, the script will wait for 1 minute. Then only the next calls are going to hit to the server. So in that way you can add this. This is very similar to the constant timer in our JMeter. If you see the JMeter, there we are having constant timer. Some different timers are there. So that is the think time actually. So user is not going to do anything in that particular amount of time. If you want to stop the script for 1 hour, then you have to mention 3600, which is 3600 seconds. So your script will wait for 1 hour. It won't go for the execution. So usually we will not give that much amount of times in the script. According to the user interface, according to the response, I am going to add the think times actually. Yeah. The next one is, if you want to measure some particular time, then you can write this one, LR start timer and LR end timer. So what is the purpose of these two means, you have to calculate some time, how much amount of time the transaction is taking, or how much amount of time for a particular calls. So then we can use this one, so that it will calculate the wasted time. So how much amount of time is wasted in the execution, that one we have to we can use this start timer. But this is also, these two functions are also not useful much, because you can directly use the start transaction, end transaction, so that LoadRunner will tell you directly how much amount of time taking for transactions. And at the execution, after execution also, you can see completely what is the elapsed time, what is the if you want to see, we will take the execution for one time, maybe some errors we will get. Yeah, because we haven't written proper functions, so many errors we will get. Let me disable. If you want to disable something, you can simply put the comment button, or you can just make them comment. So from here, which is my code here, this is the line number 565. Yeah, from here this is unwanted, so I'm just commenting out just to see the execution. So from here entirely it is going to be end, but here I need to put this one again in the comment. I need to close the comment. So now return 0 should be there. Let us see errors will be minimized. Yeah, errors are done. If you see, just I have just commented out all those. Now this is going to do the execution. Directly you can see what is the wasted time, what is the elapsed time, what is the total start time, and everything you are going to see. Yeah, now the execution is completed. If you can see, this is the total elapsed time, which is 17 seconds it took almost, and this is started and this is ended, and what is the total syntax, what is the total time that it has taken. And here if you can see, this is the stats that where we can elapse total 17 seconds has been elapsed, and you can even identify more in the runtime summary also. Like there are multiple functions are there according to the our requirement. We can use all those functions. So let me implement it to some more. We will write some more code. Yeah, so now another functions like lr save int, these are much important. With this one only you can do your scripting more effectively. Lr save integer, what it will do is it will assign some integer value into load runner variable. So by defaultly load runner is having only one variable type, one data type is only one data type. That data type is nothing but string. Whatever you are giving, load runner will think it as string only. Even if you are giving number 10, if you are giving, load runner will not think that is a number. Load runner will think that is as a string only. You cannot add 10 plus 2 also in load runner directly, because 10 plus 2 is not possible to perform in the load runner, because load runner is assuming 10 as one string, 2 as another string. So two strings you cannot add, right? So that's why you need to define explicitly lr save int. That means you are defining as an integer, so you can do the calculations. Anything you want to implement the scripting challenges, you need to remember all these functions. Yeah, that is lr save int is one function, and lr save string is also another function. We will use all these functions in our challenges. Lr save string, this is also one function, and even lr evaluation string. So what is this is going to do is it will evaluate the string what you are giving inside the total number. That means after embedding the parameter, or it will read the value, whatever the value that you are passing here, that you are going to read inside this value. And now the next one is lr param array rand function. This is more I can say most asked interview question. So what is this param array random function means? If you remember the JMeter sessions, we have done the correlation which is capturing the total number of values. Or for example, if you see the source, total source stations are 10 source stations are there in our webtools application. If I am capturing all these 10 values, my defined parameter value is becoming an array. That means it will become an array with the index of from 0 to param array total 10 values or 9 values it will become. But if you want to specifically, if you want to pick up some value out of this total array, if you want to specifically pick some value, then you have to use the idx function. If you want to pick randomly, then you have to use this function, which is lr param array random. What is the meaning means here? Parameter array, this stands for param, stands for parameter, this stands for arr, stands for array. So whatever the parameter array that is you have defined a correlation, from that value it will pick up some random value. Where you are going to use this function in real time means if you want to do the load testing with different from stations, with different two stations. If it is banking application, if you want to choose every time different you want to pick up every time different options available in the total drop down, at that time you can use this. You can do the correlation so that it will pick up all the values, and in that all values you can pick up any value at a time. So that this is the most used function, having lot of it will be useful for your lot of scripting challenges also. Yeah, if you want to pick up specifically some function, there is the this is for random, in the array. This will pick up anything randomly. But if you want to pick up anything in specific, lr param array idx function, this idx function what is going to do is based on the index it will pick up. This idx stands for index. in the parameter array, whatever may be the total number of values are there. For example, if 10 values are there, source it is, I want to pick up the fourth value every time. So you can take the, you can mention the index as 4 here, so that the fourth value is going to pick up from this complete array. Even though you want to you don't want to pick up any particular value, you can use this random function, which is majority of the times we are going to use this random function. Yeah, and one more, LR save date time. This is also most used function, I can say. LR save date time function. This will save the system date currently. Why we need to save the system date currently means, you will do one script today. For example, today is 12th September. You will do one script today, and you want to use the same script after 1 month. That means 12th October if you want to use. So you need to modify the script, whatever the date that is recorded in the script, that you need to modify every time. So if you want to do the execution in the next year, maybe in the January, February, if you want to modify, that is also problem, because you have to you should not leave the dates as hard coded like this, so that you need to change more every time whenever you are taking the executions. You need to change that whatever the names are there, whatever the dates are there. So they are not going to useful, because some applications will not accept the past dates. They will accept only present date or future dates only, they will accept. So if you want to change the date operations, then you can use this function LR save date time, so that it will save the current date. Whenever you are using the same script, you can change it. Again, there will be having different types of formats are there. You can use the US format, which is month, date, year, or you can use the UK format, date, month, year, or you can specifically, you can go with the hours, minutes also. According to the application specific time, you can use this function. And next, one more function is there, LR db connect, LR db disconnect. What these two functions are means, if you want to connect to any database, you can use these functions. If you want to disconnect to the database, you can use this function. So what this function is going to do is, you need to take the database strings from your database admin, so that they will help you how to do the how to like they will give you the parameters. What is the username, what is the table name, what is the password, what is the schema name, everything they will help. But we need to understand how to use this function. So for anything, you can directly go to the function reference, and you can directly type there. But you should know there is one function at least, then only we can do the search operation. If you see, this is the database connect function. If you are writing this function will return the value of, if it is success, it will get the LR pass. If it is failure, LR failure. You can see this message in the logs actually. But the main purpose is, we can use this to connect to any database according to the connection names or strings. Here, these details the database people will help you. But the function is, you have to remember which function we have to use. So just we are knowing there is the LoadRunner function is there. So with this, we can connect to the any real-time database. And now one more, debug message also we can set. So LR set debug message. So again, in the LoadRunner also same thing. Am I required to remember all the functions? Am I going to get really all these challenges in the real time means? There may be possibility, there may not be possibility. Again, I am telling, this is like JMeter also, similar to the JMeter. Only thing is that if there are no scripting challenges, you are not required to do all the things. You need to, but basics are mandatory, like the correlation, parameterization, verifications, and some global value declarations. Those parameter declaration, everything that is very common. That is mandatory for any script. After that, if there is any enhancement, we have to use all these things. If there is no enhancement required, then you are free to do. After that, you can directly go for the controller, designing the scenario. Like I have given the overview in the 2 days class, before 2 days, the same overview you have to follow. Yeah. Now let me continue some more functions. This is the debug message function. So here you can put any of the debug messages according to the requirement. And now, if you want to execute any particular SQL statements, then you can use the one more function is there, LR db execute SQL statement. I am forget the typos. LRDB execute SQL statement. So this function will do, this function will execute whatever the code that you have written in between these lines. So if you see this function, some typing mistake, I think so. Yeah, this function will get the details. Yeah, this is the correct function. LRDB execute SQL statement. So whenever you only one, yes, next I have written SQL statement. Yeah, so if you want to run any SQL queries, if you specifically if you are running some sample queries like start select star from some table, or if you want to do, if you want to operate some match conditions, particular database level, if you are getting some data, if you want to identify the performance, if you run the repeat the query for number of times, 100 times if you are repeating, 1000 times if you are repeating, then at that particular point of time you want to measure the performance, you want to see the response times and everything, then you can use this SQL DB connection, and this should be in between these two, because whenever you are connecting, this is connecting, whenever you are connecting, then only you can do the run these queries. After that, finally you have to disconnect to the database also. Otherwise, if you are not disconnecting to the database, it will be in the open state only, you will get more better response time. This is one interview question. If you are forgetting to write DB disconnect, then your database connection is not in the closed state, it will be in the open state, then you will get faster response times, which is not realistic. So you have to connect, you have to perform, you have to disconnect. This is one SQL, this is one set of operation. So the same operation you need to repeat for more number of times actually. Yeah, and one more function, LR continue on error. So what is this continue on error is going to tell you, it will decide your error handling mechanism. So whenever you want to continue the execution, even though you are getting some error, you can give the options. There are some options are there, like if you are giving 0, then there is nothing, you can directly do the execution. If you are giving 1 as your option, this will still continue, and if you are giving 2 as your option, it will skip to the next action actually. So if there are multiple actions are there, it will skip to the next action, and if you are giving 3, then it will skip to the next iteration actually. So all these are the options based on our again I will tell you, I will give you the real-time scenario for this where we are going to use. And if you give the 4, you are going to do the ending the virtual user actually. So where we are expecting this type of options, what is the purpose means, if you are getting one error at one particular time, you are not going to stop your execution, you are not going to stop your complete execution. Imagine a situation, we are asking you to do 100 user load test. So in the real time, 100 users will get the exact response time, 100 users will get the 100% success rate, means that is not possible. Maybe they may get 95% result, or your application will get 98% result. 100 out of 100% result, application may not get all the times. In that case, if you are experiencing 1% error, if you want to stop your execution, means then there is no point of doing your test. So what we are going to do is, even though we are getting 1% error, 2% error also, we are not stopping our execution, we are continuing even though on error condition also. So this is error handling mechanism in LoadRunner. Let us see the same how they have written the function in the reference itself. If you see here in the LoadRunner manual, LR continue on error is showing us all these options. Yeah, just what I have shown you. This is these are the options. Error continuation options. How you want to continue your error? These are the 4 options. Sorry, these are the 5 options. Like LR on error, no option. This is like the first one is no option. If you are giving 0, then there is nothing. And if you are giving 1 as your argument, that will continue. And if you are giving 2, it will skip and continue to the next action. And if you give 3, it will go for the next iteration. That means the particular iteration is going to be stopped. Iteration means, for example, if there are multiple lines of code is there, for the first transaction you are getting error, That means this is not going to execute till the end. It will skip out of the iteration. User will go for another iteration. So that is one thing. And the last one is error on the virtual user, ending the virtual user. So the user is not going to be continued on the error. They are going to be they are going to be exiting from the text actually. And some more LR load, and these are some of the messages like LR output message, LR, just I will write the display functions. This is LR message. The purpose is you can send a message to the log, like the logs are going to print here. Here this is the output window. For example, if you want to log something here, if you want to see some message, you need to give this LR message. And if you want to send the message to output log, you have to write like this LR output message, so that this will be logged file it is going to send, and output window, and even to the summary report also you are going to see here in the summary report. In the output window also you can see this output message. And LR log message, here the name itself is telling you this is directly logging, printing in the logs itself. You can see in the LoadRunner logs. We will use all the messages, all the functions also we will use in our scripting classes. So we may use any of the functions according to the situation. And LR output message, LR output message I have written already. And LR error message, this is the error that we would like to print. I have made some typing issues only. Yeah, this is LR error message. So where you are going to log your error output message. And there is one more function which is interview point of view. Majority of the interviewers will touch this LR get vuser IP. They will not ask about this function. They will check your ability whether you know this function or not. How means, for example, you are running that load test of 1,000 users. If you are running, no, the person they may ask you, for the 1,000 users I am connecting 4 missions, nothing but 4 LGs, 4 load generators I am connecting. Now I would like to see which user is invoking from which mission. I am telling 1,000 users are invoking. That means 4 missions have to invoke 250 users each. But I want to see which user belongs to which mission. Then I can use this function LR get vuser IP. So if you are writing this in between your script, this function will return with the IP address what the particular user is invoking from the message. And if you want to see the host name, whatever the host name they are invoking instead of IP address, then you can write this function LR get host name, so that it will revert with the what host name they are using. And if you want to see the controller, that means controller will be only one only. Slave missions will be more, like the master mission will be one only. Then I would like to see what master mission I am using. LR get, you can write this function LR get, this is my master host name, so that this will print the whatever the controller you are invoking. That means in the real time you may be having more than one controller also. In that situation you would like to see which controller the execution is triggered, so that also you can print by using this message. If you want to see which IP you are in the current execution, LR who am I, one function is there. Yes, this is the function LR who am I. So this will let us know which what about the virtual user, what is the information about the virtual user. This will let us know. And there is some status message also there, like LR like vuser status message. So it will tell what the particular user is doing, whether he is pass user or failed user. That also we can see. Why we are taking this message status message means, based on this also we can implement some challenges means based on some condition. If that is the case, you have to do the script like this. If that is not the case, your script has to perform these things. Everything is a challenge. So the challenges we can implement by using these functions only. And if you want to save something, LR save search string, whatever the string that you are saving, whatever the string that you are searching. So that search string you can save into one variable actually. Yeah. So all these are the, so far we have seen all these are load runner functions. They will work across load runner all protocols. They will not they don't have any limitations that they are not going to work in this, not like that. But majority of the times we are using web functions mainly, and these LR functions across all protocols we are going to use. Yeah. Now let me write what are the web functions also. Today we will see LR functions, web functions, some C functions also in today's section. Just I am introducing you all the functions that what I am going to use in our next scripting sections. So these are the LR functions. So far we have defined discussed about LR functions. Now we will see what are the web functions are there. LR means they will work throughout LoadRunner. But now if you see the web functions, they will work only in the web protocol. So you know this function that you have seen already yesterday, webreg save param ex function, which is a correlation function we are doing in the web protocol actually. Whenever we are taking the web protocol, web services protocol, at that time only this function will work. If you are recording the SAP script, this is not useful. You are not going to do, this function is not going to help you here. So there are some web protocol, web functions are there. Let me write what are those web functions. The first one is web URL. Web URL, what it is going to do is it will launch the application or it will hit the URL. If you see the script that what we have recorded, for example, if here I am getting the Blaze demo, that means I am getting the data from this Blaze demo. The same if you see in the script, the first URL itself, I have written some LR functions, forget about this. If you see the first request, this is web underscore URL. That means this is a get call, actually getting the data from this particular URL, and what is the URL, what is the name, and what is the type of the call actually, everything you are going to see here. Yeah, if you see the request number, line number 22, line number 30, everything is a web URL, web URL, web URL. That means they are connecting to the web application. That is the function. Majority of the script lines you are going to see this web URL function. And there is one more function also there, which is web submit request, web submit form. You can see all those functions, web submit data. If you see, this is also one function, web custom request. Custom request means a modified request will be there. That is one request. And even if you see web custom requests are there morely. Here if you have any post data calls, we haven't logged in the script, so that's why I'm not getting any post request here. If you see any post request, suppose you are logging in with your credentials, username and password, there you can see. Let me open one more script, let us check. Yeah, this is the application of web tours. Yeah, if you see here in the line number 78, I am logging in with my credentials, which is Jojo and Bin. I am logging in with my credentials. Here, this is the request 78. This is the request, which is web submit data. That means this is a post call where you are posting your data. Again, this is a get call only. Web URL means this is a get call where you are simply getting the data, but here you are posting the data with some body data. This is the body, what Jojo and Bean and your user session value, there you are posting the data. So we are having different web functions, web underscore URL, web submit data, web custom request, web custom request. This is one function. And we do have one more, you know this webreg save param. I'm not going to explain this now. What is this function? Webreg save param ex function. Webreg save param ex function. This is the correlation function. Now, if the correlation value is more lengthy value, for example, if you are doing correlation, user session value is having some characters. The character limit that LoadRunner can remember is up to 256 characters only. This is the LoadRunner by default allocation size. Your correlation value. If you are finding out some user session value will be like this, right? We have seen this so many times. This is like this. So this is approximately some 20 to 30 characters are there in the user session value. Then it will easily capture. If session value is more lengthy, up to 256, our LoadRunner will support as the default allocation size. But if the dynamic value is even more length than 256, then you have to increase the size by using one more function, web set max HTML param length. All these are the functions we have to remember mandatorily. There is no shortcut. LANGTH. I have written some typos. So this is the web set max HTML param length. So what this is going to do is this function will define the this function will overwrite your overwrite your default size. By defaultly, the parameter size is 256 characters. If my dynamic value is more than 256 characters, if I want to capture the entire response, then you have to first change the parameter size, which is the 256. Here you can give any number. If you would like to change it to some big number, you can take 1000, or your dynamic value is even more bigger, you can go for 10k, or here you can go for 1 lakh characters also, not an issue. So LoadRunner will allocate the size for this parameter, whatever the parameter you are defining. Yeah, that is one thing. And there is one more. If you want to save the timestamp, there is one more function, web save timestamp. So this timestamp is going to be saved into a parameter actually. So whatever the current time, if you want to capture at the execution, at what particular time it is taking, then you can use this function, web save timestamp function. And there is one more function is there. This we will see in the assertion classes. Like the assertion is also nothing but verification. If you want to verify something, you have to find it. That is nothing but your web find. So here you are identifying something in the request. Web find is nothing but this will find the data in the particular request. Here you need to give what parameters you want to find, and there is one more function is also there. Web find is also there, which is not a registered function. This is the registered function. If you see, the reg is added, which is the registered function, and we are doing this for the verification of the text actually. If you want to verify, you can use this function, web image find function, web image check function. So this is the whether the image is there or not in the response, whether the png call, whether the .jf call is loading in your response or not, that this is going to identify. And if you want to set some proxy, if you want to operate the application under the proxy channel mode, you can use this website proxy. And these are the web submit data, you know this function already. And there is form also there, you can submit the form data as well. This is one form called web submit data, web submit form. And you can see the web get integer property also. You can get this, based on this property we can identify whatever, like we can verify the response whether it is the proper or not. So based on the status code we can see if we can if we want to get 200 code, if you are getting 300 code. So everything you can return by using this web get integer property. So what the call is getting, what is the response of this call, that we can see in the integer property call. And we can see we can download the response also. So here we can put the additional message in the web get into property only. The same function only we can put by taking http info status code. So this is the http info download size we can take, and even we can take the http download status code also we can take. So the main thing is that you are going to see you are going to share the response, you are going to identify. This is like all this is the verification mechanism, whether I am getting 200 response or not, whether I am getting 400s, like we need to verify. So that we can do by using this web find function. This is the verification function in the LoadRunner. If you see the same operation we are doing with the assertion in JMeter, like we are having text assertion, response assertion, some assertion codes are there that we are taking. But here you need to write everything as a function. You have to write everything. Not there are no such type of elements you can add. How you are doing in the JMeter, that elements adding is not there. You have to write these functions to pass our to verify our scripts actually. Yeah, that one is there. And there is one function, web set user. So this function will usually give the user authentications for any native Windows application if you are taking and any NTLM based applications. So there, if you want to pass explicitly some keywords, that means in the beginning itself, if you need to give some credentials, then only application is accessible. Then you can set the request by using this website user function. You can access the application. And if you want to set some certificate, you can use this web set certificate function. This will set the certificate. And if you want to set the sockets, you can use web set socket option. All these are am I going to use all the options means may not be. I am telling once again, web set socket option. So this is also one setting of the socket options where you can identify where you can this function is giving maybe the message that what we are giving is not in the proper order. This is not returning. That means it might be deprecated. It was there in the last previous options. So you need to give the actual options. If you are missing one, yeah, if you see, I missed only one single letter, one single S here. That's why LoadRunner is not showing me the result. That is the main drawback of LoadRunner. Here I just missed one S. I thought the function is deprecated, but the function is still there. You have to give the proper input, then only you will get the proper response. Even I have given here the 99% correct function, but LoadRunner unable to get the data. It is telling me no results are there. So website socket is not correct function, website sockets. So you need to add the correct information, then only it is reverting. But that is not with the JMeter. You can see with JMeter a lot of good flexibilities you can have with JMeter. That is one thing. And after that website sockets option, we do have the cleanup cookie, cache cookie, some functions are there. This we are doing in the JMeter by adding the cookie manager, HTTP cookie manager, HTTP cache manager we are adding. So the same thing here we have to perform as a function, web cleanup cookie and web cache cleanup. These are the two functions. You have to remember the order also. Web cache cleanup. Yeah, these are the two correct functions. Whenever if you write this, then after every iteration that is going to clean up these both cookies and caches as well, so that your request hitting will be as new as like a particular virtual user is doing. So these two functions also we will add. And one more, web convert parameter is there. So this will convert the parameter from HTML to URL, URL to HTML. Like you can play the input request. That one also you can play with this particular with this particular request actually. And there is one more which is the header adding. There is, if you are missing some headers in your script, you can add header by using this function, web add header, so that you can take the header from your browser. For instance, if you are taking the particular header like this, so the same header you can take and you can let me go to the network tab. Yeah, this is the request. For this request, if suppose our application LoadRunner is unable to add the header, then you can take the header data directly from here, and the same data you can pass inside the script actually. This is the response header, not required. I need only my request header. So in this request header, what parameter you are going to, what parameter application is missing. For example, if this is missing this parameter like user agent is missing, then you can copy paste the user agent and you can pass it as an argument here inside our web add header function. Yeah, majority of the functions we are going to use in our scripting challenges. So let me repeat one more time. We are having different types of functions. Out of that, LoadRunner functions we can use across any protocol, but the web protocol functions can be useful only in these two, web and web services, HTTP protocol and services protocol. these two APIs only we are going to use web functions, and LR can be used across any protocol, and some C functions are also there that we will see in the next session. So that C functions and file operations are also there. So they slowly we will see as a part of our scripting challenges. Yeah, again the process is very similar here also. We are following the similar process JMeter. We will record the script. That means we will understand the flow. We will record the script. Then after recording, mandatory enhancements you need to do, like correlation you need to perform, parameters you need to perform. Here assertions we will call them as verifications. That is the name change. Verifications we are calling. So verifications you need to perform, and after that you need to do whatever mandatory naming conventions, everything you have to follow. After that you have to do the more enhancements based on the challenges. Again, these are mandatory means not mandatory. Enhancements are optional. If your script they are expecting some changes from your script, then you need to perform according to that. Majority complex projects, they will involve these enhancements. They will check your ability to modify these enhancements. It's like similar to the coding, but this is like, as long as you learn the logic, then there is no issue with the code, because you need to know what to be right and where to be right in the script. That is main thing. And exactly the coding you can learn it in the slowly, or you can even copy paste from you can get the support from any of the Copilot tool or any of the GitHub tool. Any of the GitHub Copilot also is getting the proper code. So you can depend on any of the code generation tools for initial stages, because that is required for, that is enough for us. Being a tester, that much of coding is enough, really good enough. So you need to have the idea where you need to place the snippet of code before the request or after the request. So which request is getting the creating the response, that you need to identify. After that, if we are getting the proper response, then I would like to capture something in the response and I have to pass it there in some request. Then you have to understand all the complete cycle. Then only we can see more insights into the scripting actually. Again, this is also ocean of learning. LoadRunner is also a very big tool, lot of things to learn, but I will give the content what is required to kickstart your career in this LoadRunner. Yeah, that is one prime thing.